Welcome back to Fuel Your Confidence. Today's episode is about closing a chapter and opening a new door. Over the past couple of weeks, I've taken you inside one of the most confronting experiences of my career, and not because it was dramatic, but because it fundamentally changed how I see people, how I see rooms, and how I see connection. Chapter 1 of the Little Book of Influence is called Perceive, and while it begins with a cruise ship disaster, it's not really about that night. It's about the skill that really determines whether you, I, and we connect or whether we miss a moment entirely. And this skill is perception. And today I want to show you what happens after you develop perception, because after that cruise ship experience, I didn't just become more resilient, I became more available. I stopped thinking that confidence was something you project outward, and I realized it's something that you actually sense inward, and then it moves outward. I also stopped believing that influence came from having, the perfect words or the perfect ideas. And I learned that it really starts with noticing the right signals and the right cues, because a room is always talking to you. People are speaking to you. Their bodies are speaking long before they even open their mouth. Just by perceiving, you can see how safe people feel, how open they are, how truthful they're being, how excited or invested they are, whether people are actually with you or just physically present, and so much more. And once I learned to read that, my work changed, my timing improved dramatically, my confidence skyrocketed, and my presence became really grounded instead of performative, and something surprising happened. I stopped trying to win rooms over and actually started working with audiences instead. And to be honest, all stage work really is a dance. In every single moment between you and the audience, it's never a monologue. It is always a spoken and unspoken conversation in every single moment, even if you're doing all the talking. The problem is that when we get stuck in our head or anxiety or our own worries, we miss what's right in front of us, or we make a snap judgment and then respond in the wrong way. See, here's the mistake that most people make. They might notice tension and then they panic. Or they might notice disengagement and then they talk faster. Or they might feel resistance and so their response is to push harder. But when you're actually perceptive and you can really see what's happening on multi-levels, you don't rush to fill the space. You allow this space to actually show you what's needed. And you pick up on subtle cues that then guide you. And this is where presence truly becomes powerful. You see, most people don't lose rooms because they're boring. They lose rooms because they're internally distracted. They're like rehearsing their next line, or they're worrying about how they're going to come across, or they're trying to sound impressive, or they're mentally managing themselves instead of focusing on the people in front of them. And the moment your attention turns inwards, your connection outwards weakens, because you cannot be fully present and also monitoring yourself at the same time. Influential communicators are not perfect. They're available. They're open. They're listening, they're seeing, and they're responding. And they notice. They notice a pause before a question. They notice a shift in posture. They notice the moment the energy dips. They notice that silence that isn't empty because it's full of information. And instead of panicking, they adjust calmly. And that is true confidence on stage, trusting yourself to read the room and have the flexibility to pivot, adapt, tweak, and give the audience what they need in that moment. Presence isn't charisma. It's not being an extrovert. It's not, confidence theater or pretending you're confident or trying to project a level of confidence that you don't have. It is the practice of being in this moment right now. It's releasing the need to impress people in front of you, showing up as your beautiful, unapologetic, authentic, incredible self, and allowing yourself to respond instead of perform. And this is why the best speakers, the best leaders, the best communicators, they don't feel scripted, even when they're prepared. Because they're so anchored in who they are and their message, and they're so responsive to who's in front of them, and they're real because they're present with you in that moment, and we can feel that in a second. We can also feel it when someone is disconnected. So here's what I would love for you to take away from this episode. Influence does not begin with speaking. It begins with perceiving, and it deepens when you trust yourself enough to respond to what you see in front of you. And when you stop forcing moments and instead start meeting your audience where they are in that moment and creating a beautiful dynamic from there. In chapter 1 of the Little Book of Influence, I go much deeper with practical tools, real-world examples, hilarious stories, and simple ways to build presence and perception in everyday communication. The link to grab the book, ebook, or hard copy are in the show notes below. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next week.